Hello YouTube, Zach the Phoenix here, and this is part 2 to the Fake Monroe rant, which honestly I was not expecting it to get as many views as it did. It's almost got as many views as his videos when he was, funnily enough, posing as yet another member of mainstream society. Um, he's pretty good at posing, honestly. But it was fun as shit to start stirring up the shit a while. Heartless Harpy, you may know her as she's still underage to my knowledge. I think she's 16. She's a kid, and she's taking the Mickey out of him. The she's totally got my respects in that regard. But I think it's high time some He people started stirring up the shit with him. Just because for whatever reason, it's like you need a man's word to push you by. I guess it seems that way. So yeah, that rant was long overdue. As was I guess this follow up because I got such a myriad of comments, most of which I expected to be negative from those shits, those his little snacks as he calls them. Um, but yeah, no, he's a poser. And it's unfair to the not the elitists, the baby bats, the novices, the noobs, the a veteran's job in any case would be to at least inform as best they can any and all who, even if they're just looky-loos, they're just looking around, seeing what's what. The least you can do is tell them the truth. So the fact that he's saying, that it's whatever you want it to be, do you realize the consequences to that? You know how many Bible thumpers, there's already, in the 90s there was this Fox News bit on the goth subculture. It was funny as shit to watch, honestly. Not just because of how many of the posers there were, doing such try-hard shit with their aesthetics and all, but not only that, but because it's such a sign of the times. Not only have we got posers these days that don't try at all, which that in and of itself is hilarious, but it's gotten to the point where all these dunce holes, these outsiders to it all, not only do they not seem to hate us anymore for our aesthetic especially, but they seem to advocate it. Like it's almost like Ligea Resurrected did a video on this already, kind of, but it's kind of true. It's honestly pretty fucking true. There's been times where I'm on my way over to the craft store or whatever, some broad's gonna see me and be like, "Oh, hey, you look like a rock star. Fuck yeah." And I'm honestly thinking some of these, because we're such a shallow species, I guess. I'm always thinking, I'm gonna get the typical, "Oh, hey, you look like a fucking, uh, I guess they'll use random gay slurs on me for, wearing, the nail polish, I guess, or whatever." Um, One time I got called a ponce, which I thought was fucking hilarious because I'm surprised that person even knew what a ponce even is. I was honestly just expecting another homophobic slur. But, yeah, we just need to stop being so image based. Because, for instance, there's this sentiment out there that's old as both the subculture and the fandom, really. Emo is a fandom, goth is a subculture. That's one way to tell the difference. But apparently there's people who claim that it's one and the same just because both, wear black. Would you say that about country and rap just for wearing a myriad of color? Clearly both are music based and both have very different sounds to their genre. So if goth were whatever you wanted it to be, that'd be claiming, oh hey, well if it's the same as emo, does that make any sense? No, fuck ass. And all these Bible thumpers who claim that it's whatever they want it to be because they believe so much like Reverend Trash from Dark Shadows that it's, some evil, demented, rape happy cult that sacrifices anything with lips attached to it. Like, are you serious? I believe in energy, if anything, but I'm agnostic by nature because I don't care to go around seeking what may or may not lie beyond death. I'm perfectly happy living life. Thank you. Fuck off. Um, we're getting off track here a little bit, but yeah. I think part of the reason people were giving me shit for that video was because I came off, understandably, like I was saying. I just spit. I came off saying that I was Like it was almost like I was saying that you only should be listening to goth music, which I wasn't saying that. In my defense, I was not saying that at all. I'm just saying that goth has its own genre to it, and the titles are not labels. Goth is a title to the genre and those that advocate it and listen to it and live by it. It's not just some trivial label that you can slap over everything that you so much as breathed on or touched. I tried doing that long ago, you know. I did a video covering this water bottle here with a shitload of band logos and such. Little funny little curiosities. I misspelled midnight, though, on London After Midnight's logo. Now it's London After Midnight. I was in a hurry. But yeah, no. You don't have to listen to it all the time, because that in and of itself would be indeed an elitist statement. Saying that it's the same as saying you need to look the proverbial part all the time. You think I look, like a goth all the time? No. God damn, especially if you're sick as a dog, you're spraying out both ends, Do you really think you're going to be able to wear a full mug of makeup if you're blowing out, whole lipoma-sized loogies? Which even in texture-wise, that happened to me once. I thought I was falling apart from the inside out. I was scared shitless the first time it happened. It was like this big green and red, perfect for the holidays, really. Very appropriately colored little mass that just, shot its way out of the tissue, landed on the carpet. I had to pull it out with pliers and shit. I thought I was dying. I thought I had coronavirus before it was even, invented or created or discovered or however it worked. It was like 2 Christmases ago or whatever. I was scared shitless. So yeah, no, it's not practical to look like a goth or listen to goth music all the time. But if you know the history and you respect it, that's all that you need to know. That's all you need. That's all there is to it. I have memes of people, Jake particularly, who are like this. One of which involves, it's not even anything related to anything goth or gothic. Like I always try and say, there's an obvious distinction between what's goth and gothic. Nobody from however many centuries ago was wearing band shirts and mohawks in the streets. Clearly, the genre is not the art movement. It's an art style turned lifestyle, but it became a lifestyle through music. But I've got memes. One in particular of which is of Wreck-It Ralph, and it's calling Jake out essentially. And it says, an actual e-boy underneath it. If you've seen that movie, or at the very least you've seen the clip where he's talking about eBay, he was calling it e-boy by accident. But at some point there was a notification in the form of like a youthful male individual who showed up. He was like, "Oh, I'm your local eBay representative." He's like, an actual e-boy. So that's what that is. That's what I memed. Maybe I'll show it at the end of this video, yeah. But if you got anything from that video, just take inspiration from actual goth musicians, because there's a sound to it. If you're going to look the proverbial part of a goth, go after your favorite musicians, okay? You see it all the time with the Mansonites, the metalheads, the punks, reggae artists. They all look like their favorite musicians. Isn't it only natural? Don't just take the aesthetic. It's like cutting the roots to an apple tree just because you like apples but not the big, dirty, disgusting tree that it came from. How are you going to get one without the other? You at least owe the musicians some level of respect for helping to modernize your, I was going to say modify. Well, yeah, you kind of modified it to modernize it. The musicians did that. Yeah, no. Me, personally, I'm definitely going to show a video here of what I used to look like at like 19, 20 years old. I was listening to who I discovered for the first time, Portal King and Sean Brennan, Rosetta Stone and Sisters of Mercy. I'm getting my shit mixed up. London After Midnight and Rosetta Stone. 2 of my favorite bands, along with Sisters of Mercy. Photo here. Which really the only same thing about that is maybe hair length, maybe. Obviously, I've got a longer beard now, though. But yeah, is it so hard to do proper research? Looking the proverbial part is easy enough, but research is just as easy with a Google search. You can literally Google goth bands, and all the staple bands from way back when are going to show up. I was even wearing a Sisters of Mercy shirt for that Jake rant, so... I mean, I even got a comment saying that, oh, but you're not goth. Would a goth not be wearing a Sisters of Mercy t-shirt? That was hilarious. I just got that today as I'm filming this. But yeah, no, I'll show the following stills here. If you like, please like. Which why wouldn't you? Feel free to share your obscure little thoughts in the comments below, as well as to share the video itself. Subscribe if you wish to see more. Don't forget to hit the bell if you do. As always, thank you so very much for watching, and I love you all.